Hello guys, you're welcome once again to this channel. In this video we will be analyzing the market for this coming week, which starts from the 20th of September to the 24th of September. But before we do that, let's do a recap of how our last week's signals went. If you want to check our last week's analysis, you can just check the link in the description below where we tagged the video of our last week's analysis. And if you don't want to watch the whole recap of the last week's analysis, you can just check the timeline in the description to skip to this week's analysis. Lastly, don't forget to subscribe to this channel so you won't miss out on when we drop a new analysis video. And yes, you need to subscribe to this channel because we have a special video that we're going to be making and dropping during the week or maybe next week. So you need to subscribe so you wouldn't miss out on when we drop the video. So let's jump right in. The first pair that we're going to be looking at is the AUDUSD, and this was the first pair that we dropped on the 13th of September, which was on Monday last week. We dropped it around this price 0.7354 on the AUDUSD pair. This was the first signal that we dropped, and we sent a buy signal. We sent a signal around this level 0.7534. which is this blue line. This was the level which we sent the signal on the 13th of September. As you can see, this is 13th of September. So let's zoom that and see how it went. Let's check it on a lower time frame. So this was the area which we placed the signal. We placed it with regards to this support level, expecting that it was going to continue going up, and it went about 20 pips, and immediately it hit our 20 pip level. It just reversed and began to move in a bearish manner. It began to disrespect the other support levels which we set for this pair. When we saw that it began to disrespect all these other support levels, so we just took a break from this pair and we decided to just watch how it will be moving. This is why we advise traders to always set their stop loss at break even after it has hit the TP1. As you can see, this trade hit TP1, and if you set your stop loss at break even, it means that you wouldn't be affected by this reversal which happened. So it's just going to hit your stop loss which you set at break even. Break even is just simply refers to the entry point which you entered the trade. So assuming you set your stop loss at break even, you wouldn't be affected by this reversal, and that's what we expect most traders to do. We expect that even after the trade has hit your stop loss, you are supposed to watch how the trade is going to be moving, whether it's still going to respect that analysis. Then you are supposed to re-enter the trade. But if it's looking like it's not respecting your analysis, you're just going to leave the trade. And as you can see, this just began to move in a really, let's delete this. This just began to move in a really bearish manner, meaning that it was no longer going to respect this analysis. So that means that's a red flag, and that means you shouldn't try re-entering this trade. So it just began to move in its own way, and as we were analyzing this pair, we saw that it was moving in this bearish pattern. So we just decided to leave this trade to just see how it's going to be moving. And we just decided that, okay, when it gets to this last support level, we are going to be entering this trade. And during the week, we also sent an analysis to our chat forum. This is our chat forum. We sent an analysis on the AUDUSD that it was going to hit this trend line which we drew out, which we marked here. That it was going to hit this blue trend line, and it's going to do one last sell, and when it gets to this support level, it's going to bounce, break this trend line, and move up about 120 pips. That was what we analyzed, because this trend line looks like an expired trend line. One thing about trend lines is that they don't continue moving, they don't continue respecting a trend line. A trend line will always get broken at some point. So what we predicted was that at some point it's going to break this trend line. So we predicted that when it gets to this level, it might just bounce on this support level, break this trend line, and move about 120 pips. And we sent that analysis to the group. As you can see, this is the chat forum. Skyrocket signals chat. This is the chat forum, and we sent our analysis to this group that, okay, it's going to do one last sell when it gets to this trend line here, and when it does this last sell, when it gets to this level, and this is the level we should buy, that they should wait for our signal before trading this pair. So this was the analysis we sent to the group. But as you can see, when it got to this trend line, it just moved in a really bearish manner. Once you see a really bearish candlestick like this, this means it is not going to respect any of the levels that you set it to. So that's why you should know how to read candlesticks. If you don't know candlesticks patterns, you don't know how to read candlesticks, then you should go and learn how to read candlesticks. Each candlestick has its own meaning. This is a bearish engulfing this is a bearish engulfing movement. As you can see, a bearish engulfing, and these are rejections. Assuming these rejections were on this support level, we would have decided that okay, we are going to enter at this support level, but these rejections are below the support level, and after these rejections, the next movement was a really bearish candlestick, which means it's still going to continue moving downwards. So from the meanings of this sticks movement, it means that this level, support level, and this support level which we set were not going to be respected. So we just left this trade. We were watching this trade and we were looking for perfect entry points, but we saw that this trade wasn't going to be respected, so we just left this trade alone. As you can see, we already put our risk to reward ratio, but assuming we took this trade, the price would have begun to head for our stop loss. So we just decided to leave this trade alone to see how it will move, and it moved as predicted. It's moving in a bearish manner. So we will look at this AUDUSD for this week when we are doing our weekly forecast. So stay tuned to the end of this video to see what our predictions for the AUDUSD will be. So the next pair that we placed a trade on after the AUDUSD was the GBP CAD. We placed it at the price of 1.7537. Let's check the GBP CAD. We placed a sell signal for the GBP CAD. Yes, as in our last week's analysis, we said that we are going to be selling the GBP CAD and we're going to be risking about 35 pips for this trade, and we're going to be targeting about 100 pips. And as you can see from this, when we took the sell trade, it moved 100 pips in our favor, and when it got to 100 pips, it bounced back and it began to move up. So this trade went in our favor. As you can see, GBP CAD 20 pips, GBP CAD hit 20 pips, GBP CAD hit 50 pips, and GBP CAD hit 100 pips on Thursday. So GBP CAD really went in our favor. We enjoyed this trade. The analysis we used to take this was this resistance level. We just took chances, set our stop loss, set our take profit, and we hoped for the best. We did an analysis on the GBP CAD. So if you want to watch our last week's analysis on how we analyzed this GBP CAD in details, then just click the link in the description where we tagged the video of our last week's analysis. We will not be talking about how we analyzed this GBP CAD in the recap for this week. So the next pair that we took after the GBP CAD on Monday was the USD CHF on Tuesday. I think this was the only pair that we placed a trade on. That's on Tuesday, the USD CHF, and we placed a sell trade on the USD CHF around 0.9220, which is around this exact level right here that you are seeing this line. As you can see, we set a take profit of about 75 pips, and we decided to risk about 30 pips for this trade. Unfortunately, this trade didn't get to 75 pips. The highest level it got to was 54 pips, and I guess when the trade hit our TP1 and our TP2, we sent a close signal to close this trade at 30 plus pips, because we discovered that it bounced with regards to a trend line which is around here. So we discovered that it was respecting a trend line movement here, so we sent a signal that our subscribers should close at 30 pips, which is around this level. When we see that the analysis isn't going in our favor, we always send out a closing signal, and as you can see, it reversed and began to move in a really bullish manner. In fact, it even broke almost all the resistance levels. And when we noticed that this pair was breaking all the resistance levels, we just decided to leave it alone, and we decided to just watch how it's going to be moving for the rest of the week. So I believe it's still going to keep disrespecting more analysis, and it's probably going to head for any of these support levels here. So one of these support levels might get respected during the week. So we will just be watching how the USD CHF will be going. In summary, the USD CHF, we took profits from the USD CHF, and we left the trade when we saw that it wasn't going to continue moving in our favor. So that's one thing about trading. You always have to be sharp. Your head always has to be in the game. You have to keep watching the chart and checking what is going to be happening next. So the next pair that we traded after the USD CHF was the USD CAD. And we took a sell trade on the USD CAD at the price of 1.2678. We took a sell trade on the 15th of September at 1.2675, which is which is around here. We targeted about 70 pips, and we took a risk of about 35 pips, which is around this level right here. Well, our target was about 75 pips, which is like a 1:2 risk to reward. And I think the USD CAD hit TP1 and hit TP2, and when it hit this 50 pips, it began to reverse on us. I don't think we sent a close. Okay, we sent a signal that subscribers should close this trade at 35 pips, because we saw that it was no longer moving in our favor. We always do this thing where we send out signals that you should close the trade at some particular level when we see that it's no longer moving in our favor. We saw that this was also respecting a trend line, which I just drew right here. So we decided to close this trade at 35 pips, and as you can see, it disrespected all these support levels and is moving in a really bullish manner. So we will just be watching how the USD CAD will be moving for this week, and we will add extra analysis to this USD CAD. So the next pair that we placed a trade on was the gold pair. There's the XAU USD, and okay, let's check our chart. And we set about 62 pips risk and 195 pips reward. Unfortunately for us, the gold didn't move in our favor. We placed a buy on this trade around this level, expecting that it was going to move in our favor. We placed a buy trade. We targeted about 194 pips, almost 200 pips, and we expected that it was going to buy when it gets to this support level. But unfortunately for us, the gold pair didn't move in our favor. It took out our stop loss. Which we set to about 62 pips. And as you can see, gold was really bearish, and it went 368 pips from our entry, which is actually a lot. So it took out our stop loss at 62 pips, which was not so pleasant. But since we already made profits for the week, we were still in profit. So that was how the gold went for us this week. And the last trade that we took for last week was the GBP CHF trade. We took a sell on this trade, and this trade hasn't concluded yet. I think this trade is currently in loss. It's floating in losses. We placed it around this level. It began moving up after we placed the trade around this level. So we are hoping that the trade is going to continue moving down. As you can see, this is a really bearish movement, but it is rejecting, meaning indicating that it's still going to continue moving up. But let's see how things will go, whether it might hit our stop loss, which we set to about 35 pips. I think we set our stop loss to about 40 pips. This trade might hit our stop loss, it might not hit our stop loss. We predicted that when it gets to this resistance level, it's going to sell. So we took this trade quite early, expecting that it's going to sell at this resistance level, but it could break this level and head to this level and sell on this level. So we might lose this trade, and the trade might just go in our favor. But let's see how things will be going for the GBPCHF for this week. So that was all the trades that we took for last week, and in total we made about 256 pips in total. We gained about 455 pips for last week, and we lost about 186 pips, which was on gold. If we multiply the 62 pips that we lost on gold by 3, that means we lost 186 pips on gold, making the net pips to be 259 pips. So I think that was all the trades that we had for last week. So this week we're only going to be reviewing 5 pairs for this week. We're going to be predicting 5 pairs for this week, and the list of the 5 pairs are the EURUSD, AUDUSD, AUDCAD, GBPUSD, and AUDJPY. So for the EURUSD, it's quite simple. What we are predicting for this trade is 2 things. As you can see right here, what we have is a really bearish movement, and there are 2 things that could happen. Number 1 is that the price is going to respect this support level, which is here, this support level, and it's going to bounce on this support level, and we'll just set a stop loss of about 20 pips thereabout for this trade. We're going to set a stop loss of about 20 pips for this trade and target about 100 pips. And in case the price decides to remain bearish and breaks this level, we're going to do the same thing for this level. And if it breaks this level, we will do the same thing for this support level right here. So any of these levels is going to hold, but we will just be watching how the movement of the EURUSD is going to be moving, whether this really bearish movement is still going to continue and is going to slash through this support level. We don't know yet until this week's market starts moving before we will know. So we are just going to be watching these levels, these 3 levels for this week. Any of these levels will most likely hold. So watch how the candlesticks will form around these support levels and use that confirmation to decide whether we will place the trade on this EURUSD or not. So let's just see how the EURUSD is going to be moving for this week. The maximum stop loss we'll be risking for this will just be 20 pips. We could reduce it to about 15 pips and have a target of about 100 pips for the EURUSD. So the next trade that we're going to be looking at, or the next pair that we're going to be looking at, is the AUDUSD. And from our last week's analysis that we sent to the group, we said the AUDUSD is most likely going to buy at this level, but unfortunately this is a really bearish movement around that level. So we're predicting that the price is still going to keep dropping, and it might drop down to this support level right here. So let's just mark this level out. We are setting this level expecting that the price is going to reverse on this support level, because this is a potential support level with regards to this support formed here. So we'll just be watching how the AUDUSD will be moving for this week. Let's see how things will be going for the AUDUSD this week. This looks like an expired trend channel, so one of these levels is most likely going to get broken anytime soon. It could either break down and head for this support level and then bounce on this support level, or it could bounce on this trend line and break right here, but who knows. But my best bet is that when it gets to this support level, is going to buy on this support level. So we are going to be setting our risk to about 20 pips for this level. We're going to just set a maximum of 20 pips for this level, the same thing we did with the EURUSD. We're going to be watching this level very keenly this week, and we're going to set an alert for when it gets to this level, so we'll just buy. That's for the AUDUSD. TradingView is going to alert us when it gets to that level, so we wouldn't have to be watching the chart for too long. So the next pair that we will be looking at is the AUD to the Canadian dollar. For this pair, we predicted that it was going to buy, but we didn't watch this AUD card and we missed the buy opportunity for this pair. We were supposed to enter at this level. As you can see, it is up about 20 pips from that level. It has moved about 28 pips from that level, and it's most likely still going to head for about 100 pips. So we already missed our entry for this AUD card, but in case it reverses this week and heads back to this level, we might just place a buy on the AUD card for this week. So we are just hoping that it's going to still reverse and retest any of these support levels so we can re-enter the AUD card trade for this week. So we're going to be keeping an eye on the AUD card for this week. The next pair that we will be looking at is the GBPUSD. That's the Great British Pound to the US dollar. And as you can see, it's moving in a really bearish manner. This is really bearish. And one thing about the GBPUSD is that it reverses fast. As you can see, this is a really fast reversal here. This is another really fast reversal. 1 second it is really bullish, another second it is really bearish. So it might reverse on this level, who knows? But I'm predicting that it's going to break this level and respect one of these support levels. My main prediction is that it's going to respect this support level right here. We set the support level with regards to this previous supports. So we will be waiting for the GBPUSD to get to any of these levels, then we buy. And we'll set our stop loss to about 25 pips. And we'll set a take profit to about 120 pips, because once it gets to this level, we are going to be looking far for the GBPUSD. So we're just watching how the GBPUSD will be moving for this week. And the last pair that we will be looking at is the AUDJPY, the Australian dollar to the Japanese yen. And we've been watching this chart for a while now, and we expected that the price is going to that this movement is going to reverse and retest this support level, but we aren't sure yet because this is a really bearish movement and it can slice through this support level. So we'll just be watching how the AUDUSD will be moving, whether it's going to respect this analysis or whether it's going to disrespect this analysis. If it disrespects this analysis, we're most likely going to be entering here. But let's just see how the AUDUSD is going to be moving for this week. We are going to be watching the let's just see how the AUDJPY is going to be moving for this week. We're going to be watching the AUDJPY amongst these other pairs that we mentioned for this week, and we're going to be seeing how things will be going. But this is not a clear entry for the AUDJPY. We're supposed to wait for candlesticks confirmation. You're supposed to wait for rejections. As you can see, these are rejections on the support level. You need rejections or you need some sort of candlesticks confirmations. So I guess that's it for the whole analysis that we have for this week. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to this channel, hit that like button. Subscribe to this channel and hit that like button. If you want to know when we will be dropping these signals, you can just check out the link in the description below where we tagged our Telegram channel. We drop these signals on our Telegram channel and we give advice on the Telegram channel so that other traders can tap into the wisdom that we already have. So this is the group where we drop some of our Forex signals. We have a VIP where we drop all of our signals. So if you want to benefit full time from our services, you can just subscribe to the VIP. This is the free signal group where we drop just few of our signals. So you can just join the free signal group and test out our signals. We have a chat forum where we have a community of Forex traders coming together to help each other in their Forex trading journey. We share analysis on this group so that other people could learn. We share knowledge. We share a lot of things in this group. So if you want to join, just click the link in the description below. You'll see a link like this. t.me/skyrocket signal. Just hit that link and join this group. So that's all we have for this week, and I'll see you guys in our next video. Peace.